Good morning, sir, and all my teammates. My name is Rocky Kumar Pandit. I am from Bhilai, Chhattisgarh, born and brought up in Chhattisgarh, and currently in Chhattisgarh as well. Last year, I have completed my graduation in computer science engineering, and now currently doing freelancing work in the software field. So, the book I have selected is 21 Laws, Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. This is the 10th anniversary edition about author uh, John C. Maxwell or John Kevin Maxwell is an international recognized leadership expert with more than 13 million. He has sold 13 million copies. More than 2 million leaders worldwide. He runs two organizations differently, Equip and Enjoy. Equip is basically an organization to train more leaders and make more leaders. It was uh, established in 2000 with an aim to train more than 5 million leaders, but eventually it went above 10 million leaders. And yeah, so he is the bestseller author, Wall Street Journal. Three of his book, including this book, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, Developing the Leader Within You, and the 21 Indispensable Qualities of a Leader, have been sold over a million copies. So about the book, so when Sir John has written the first edition, the only question he was answered was, if you were to take everything you have learned about the leadership over the years, boil it down into a short list, what it would be. So the short list was the 21 laws, which he has written, uh, and then after it went for the best selling, the publisher again asked him to let's why not make it the 10th anniversary edition, and he added some four more examples into it through his experience from his speeches of the leadership. And the mainly two laws change were EF Houghton, when the leader, a real leader speak, people listen. It was actually the subset of the law which he has already presented under the law of influence. And the second was law of reproduction. It again came to an subset of the law of exclusive growth. So let's start with the 21 laws. Quickly, I'll summarize to just give me. Quickly, I'll go through all the 21 laws for you all. The first law, the law of lead. Leadership ability determines a person's level of effectiveness. So it's basically means the what benchmark you set for your leadership. A good example of this is the McDonald's example. You all have heard that when the two-person was running the McDonald's, they didn't have much many stores, but when a leader came, they boomed across the globe. Second is the law of influence, the true measure of leadership in influence. The good example of this is the Mother Teresa. Third is the law of process. Leadership develops daily, not in a day. So of course, discipline. There was example of this is the American President Theodore Roosevelt, who trained himself daily and again. And after when he died. Again, under the pillow, we find a book, so which says clearly that even before the last day, he was reading, and training himself to be a better leader. Fourth is the law of navigation. Anyone can steer the ship, but it takes a leader to chart the course. There are many examples of this, the law of navigation. If you want to climb the mountain Everest, you can't simply go to the Everest and look for all the needs, right? You have to plan and do accordingly. Fifth is the law of addition. Uh, to make the people work with you, you have to add something to their lives as well. Either add value by serving others. Sixth, the law of solid ground. You, man is the, as the Mahatma Gandhi says, man is the product of his thinking. So yeah, you have a solid ground, like foundation. Trust is the foundation of leadership. Then there comes the law of respect. People naturally follow leaders who are stronger than themselves. Like in your organization, if a person with higher degree or higher knowledge comes to you, already have a sense of respect for him. So yeah, the next is the law of intuition. Leaders evaluate everything with a leadership bias. The law of intuition basically actually comes from your experience. If you practice something for more than 2 years, 5 years, or 10 years, it already come to your intuition that something is going good or something is going really bad here. Next is the law of magnetism. Who you are is who you attract. Then the law of connection. Leaders touch a heart before they ask for a head. Very true. If you have an organization, you have to take care of all the people, as we have in our course also the Saptang model, which clearly mentions this as well. Then the law of inner circle. If you are a leader, then you obviously attracts leader to yourself. Uh, the law of empowerment. Only secure leader give power to other. Common people think that if they give power to some other, they can misuse it or take all the power under them, remove them as well. But no, you have to understand the law of empowerment. By empowering people, you actually make good leaders under your organizations and you actually build trust among them. Then there comes the law of picture. People do what people see. If you tell people to do something and you actually not do that, that gives a bad image to them. So, what you practice is what you preach, the law of buy in. People buy into the leader and then the vision. First, you have to build the trust for yourself, then the people will head towards your vision. Then, the law of victory. Leaders find a way for the team to win. The law of victory says that there's no, obviously, there's no plan B. If you have a aim, if you have a vision, then anyhow you have to achieve it. There's no plan B. Then the law of big Mo. Mo is the momentum. Only secure leaders give power to the others. The law of momentum is if you have a strong background of the winning, then your mindset sets like that. You have to win the next race as well. The law of priorities. Leaders understand these that activity is not necessarily accomplished. The law of sacrifice. A leader must give up to go up. Obviously, we have to sacrifice it. Like if I have to earn a MA in leadership, I have to give up on my Saturdays, on my weekends to learn something new. The law of timing, when to lead is as important as what to do and where to go. The law of explosive growth. To add growth, lead, follow, followers to multiply, lead leaders. The law of exclusive growth says that, okay, I'll discuss in another slide. I have a slide for that as well. The law of legacy, leaders' lasting value is measured by the succession. Perfect example for our country is the Sir Jamshedji Tata. So, what are the takeaways for me? All laws are important. If you are good at something, bring people who are better at another thing. Leadership requires the ability to do more than one thing well. So, of course, these are all the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. So, you can't miss any one of them. And if you lack any one of them, once you have discovered in which laws you are average or below, begin looking for a team member whose skills are strong where they are weak. So, this is a plan ahead or acronym which is expanded here. So plan ahead. P stands for predetermine a course of action. L is the layout, your goal. A is adjust your priorities. N is notify key personnel, like who are your managers, make them align with your vision. A allow time for acceptance. People need time to accept the change, and growth is equal to change. So H stands for head into action. E stands for accept problems. A stands for apply, always points to the succession. D stands for daily review in your plan. This is the plan ahead. And so how I have started to apply. After reading the book, uh, I found out that currently I am a freelancer, a sole single person who sees everything. But now I wanted to convert it to an organization and to a company. So how I have started to apply. I have selected a project and decided to completely hand over to a team. So if I am a front end developer, now I am not focusing on the front end, but taking hiring people so that they can and lead them, planning a vision, subdividing into goal and then into tasks. So currently this is in the process of planning a vision. The third is making a team of people who complement my skills. So if I am a technical person, I am looking for the sales team, for a HR team and different teams. So this is the end quote. if you develop yourself, you can experience personal success. If you develop a team, your organization can experience growth. But if you develop leaders, your organization can achieve explosive growth. So this is the final ending quote which I have took from the book.
Right on time,
Thank you.
Rocky.
Okay.
Awesome.
Rocky's
Thank
work
you.
was basically there are 21 laws and he has to get them. So Rocky, I'm going to give you some work
Yes.
after you're done with this
Sure.
5 minutes. Okay,
Sure.
we'll come to that. But I think more important, and I think there are two things which we should discuss.
Mhm.
There is something that he has talked about, law of connection.
True.
Right. If you go back to that slide, can you
Yeah.
tell what does he mean when he says this? And tell us a field where in leadership this is the most important one.
Uh, Law of connection. So yeah, leaders touch a heart before they ask for a hand. Law of connection is means that you have to align all your people with your same vision, and people don't simply come to you. You tell them this is my vision, and they start follow. You have to first make a connection with them, it both mentally and physically. So if I have a person under my first he have to believe in me and then he'll believe in my vision, so I have to make a connection with them. This uh, is my screen stop sharing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But continue. We're not going to lose it. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, uh, that's the law of connection.
And which field is of leadership is this most critical in your view?
I guess every department or every genre decide wants the law of connection.
Okay. Where is it most important is the question.
Most important, I guess, financials, you can say.
Okay. What in financials? Or any of you others have any point of view? Which field of conduct, which field of leadership is this most important?
Crisis management.
Crisis management. Yes, certainly. Certainly. Where else?
I would say walking the talk.
Yeah, no, but my point is, we talked about sports, we talked about business, we talked about, so like that, which field will this law of connection have highest value?
Sports for sure.
Hmm?
Sports for sure.
Sports, okay. There is a few others where it is even more higher in demand.
Bureaucracy.
Maybe in a political.
Yeah, bureaucracy.
There are two things which I would like to mention, sir. One is the relationship of organization towards his employee, HR, where connection is important. And second thing is getting the sales and revenue inside to the organization. Otherwise, which cannot function. That's what I personally.
So I think about it, and Jayesh, I think, pointed quite well, uh, especially in political leaderships. Let's say bureaucracy, Rocky, you are copying with, but imagine
Mhm.
bureaucracy probably has nothing to do with heart, because they
Right.
would typically look at laid out rules, are those well written, and just follow them, right? Get them into action. While in political system, connection first, everything later. A leader who connects gets some of these things moving, right? So it could be very interesting to see how each of these 21, there are fields where these would count the most. So in some they would have lesser importance, in some they will have far more importance. Think about military leadership. What is the most critical of these 21? Right? So there are variances, there are degrees. And as Prakash had said, let's say in a crisis situation, right? What kind of leadership in crisis would be most important? Leadership in action normally, right? What came out, Rakesh had mentioned about walk the talk. There, in crisis, natural leaders emerge. It takes crisis for natural leaders to start emerging, right? When crisis hits, you start seeing natural leaders flower. That's the time they come out, right? So each of these are very interesting. So Rocky, your homework is you should map which ones are highest applicable in what kind of field.
Sure.
Okay, that will make you think around these 21 types.
Right.
And obviously they have to be, all are present in a leader because these are irrefutable. But a few types of leader need one or two of these laws more than others because of the type of field they are in. So think from that, and that will be very useful. Then I think your slide 7 and slide 5 have something in common. There's one law which has probably got repeated. Just check that. I'm not. It's not a question. It's probably just a.
Okay.
I think the one after this. And go to 7. There's something in 7 which. This law of Big Mo, and there is something similar in 5 as well. Five, not 4. The one after this.
The law of addition.
I think there is something I thought was quite similar. Okay, there is a important piece on slide 5, which was my last one to you, which was there is a talk about leadership bias, right?
Yeah.
If you see here, law of intuition, leadership bias. Any color you want to bring in on leadership biases?
Leadership bias. Yeah, like if I am from a technical background, I come to your company Birla, and if I see that Birla has some field on the ground, some field on the sales, my biases should be on the technical side only. So I'll suggest you that Birla should head towards this, should have a branch of the nanotechnology or something like that.
Sure.
Biomedical field or something.
Yeah.
So
So I would urge others also to think about this as a subject, leadership bias. Okay, it could be functional, it could be attitudinal, it could be around the way you think, the way you connect, etc. So think about this as a important piece. Otherwise, it will get lost in this book, right? So leadership biases. What are the leadership biases people get? After a few years, intuitive business models start getting formed in the minds, right? Which are very good in a few industries and absolutely useless in some other industries, right? So leadership biases can be very good in some parts and absolutely not required in few others. Okay, so just think about it. But good work, Rocky. Thanks so much.
thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ashishji, for the wonderful insights as well. I'm also taking my notes. It's actually attending a lecture.